Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. Before we get into our session, I just want to take a moment and thank our sponsor for this video, which is Babbel. So a couple of years ago, I think it was like 2018 or 2019, but like what is time? I went to Costa Rica for the first time and totally fell in love with it. In fact, it's one of the reasons I moved to Florida was so that I could have a direct flight to Costa Rica because I love it so much. I had a friend that lived there and we planned a retreat and it was my first time going and I just fell in love with it. If I could explain how it made me feel, it just felt very alive, like very alive. The energy is like yummy and potent. It was just absolutely amazing. And even living in Florida, I get a little bit of a taste of that too. So in the grand plan of my life, it's definitely a place that, like a dream, I would absolutely love to have a house there one day, or even just be able to travel there more often, or like go there for extended periods of time or something. So Babbel has really been a great support to that. And it's been such a way for me to kind of stay in alignment with that dream that I have, or traveling there more, or however it works out, right? I'm trying to be not so tunnel vision with my manifestations and stuff, but using Babbel, learning Spanish, especially Spanish, more closely related to like Latin America. So if you've never heard of Babbel before, it is an awesome language learning app. It has award-winning technology and is scientifically proven to get you speaking a new language in only 3 weeks. Babbel teaches real-world practical conversations, and they teach these through a variety of different ways. So again, it's like keeps it fun. There are lessons, podcasts, games, videos that you can watch. The lessons themselves are interactive, fun, and only take about 10 minutes, but I always find myself going over that time because genuinely, like, it's just really fun to practice and see yourself developing along the way. If you're looking for a way to challenge your mind and develop yourself and self-improve, then Babbel is definitely a great app to use, because who can ever not appreciate knowing another language? Right now, Babbel is offering 65% off the subscription through the link below in my video description here. Babbel also offers a 20-day money-back guarantee as well if you find it's not the right fit for you. So there's no pressure here. You can definitely try it out and give it a chance, because again, I think that you'll find that it's really fun and enjoyable and nice brain exercise for us to keep ourselves stimulated and keep ourselves developing, right? So really, really fun. Thank you so very much to Babbel for sponsoring this video, and thank you so very much to my subscribers, my viewers here. I love our little community. I love reading the comments. I love the support that you show one another. I appreciate so much the support that you show me, because I've been making videos here on YouTube since 2015 and the channel has come so far, and now we have sponsorships, and I just could not do any of this without you. Thank you so very much. And now let's get into our session. Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I go by Loon and Niet, and what I'm creating for you today could simply be a relaxing video done in an ASMR sort of style with some visual and auditory ASMR triggers. This could be a method for you to communicate with your subconscious, an opportunity for self-reflection. Great, right? And if you're open to the concept of energy work by proxy, you could also use this as a remote energy work session. Okay, so choose your own adventure here, dictated of course by your own free will. So I really love to study, practice, and teach healing arts modalities, and I find ASMR to be such a lovely complement to the transference, the conductivity, the receptivity of good intentions, of, sorry for the corniness here, but the good vibes, and we can all use a little of that some days, or most days. So our theme for today is a lovey theme, given the time that I'm making this. and I hope that you will enjoy. I'd love for you, through this session, the intention is to support your connection to appreciating, to honoring, to cutting a sort of tie with a limited expectation or a storyline that perhaps you'd experienced before, to connect more so with yourself, of course, and the manifestation of love in your life. And by the way, it can be anywhere, everywhere. It's up to us to call it out, to enhance it through our awareness, to identify it. Like, that is love. That is love. That is love. I am love. You are love. Blah, blah, blah. Right? I know it can sound kind of cheesy, and I'm not trying to talk down about it. But, I just want to acknowledge that I get it sounds a little cheesy sometimes. But there's a real beauty in a open mind to the limitlessness of love. And in our human nature, we often try to fit things into boxes or to create limits, like I will only fall in love with someone who meets this specific requirement, or an expectation of, oh, this is how love is because this is how I saw it in my household, where that might not be. That might be true, but it also isn't, because that is limiting. So this is about connecting with the unlimited forms of love. That can be money, that can be experiences, that can be appreciation, that can be a partner or a experience with another person. But we just want to remove limitations on love, on how we see it, on how we connect with it, on the ways we appreciate it, of the ways we allow love to be experienced through ourselves and identified within ourselves. Because there isn't quite a love that exists outside of you, right? It's what we experience anyway is the opportunity to allow, or the opportunity to receive. And it's all still about controlled by the personal perspective. All right? So we're going to light a candle. And set an intention. To see love in its many forms. To connect with it, to channel it, to appreciate it. And to stop limiting or holding these tunnel vision expectations of how love arrives or love shows up for you, or of what you can demonstrate your love by. Love of self, love of life, love of others. Some yummy incense matches. On behalf of the highest and greatest good, and in perfect comfort, perfect alignment, our intention is to connect again with the unlimited facets, experiences of self, materializations, subtle field connections through dream, through memory, through thought, through fantasy, punching holes in our makeshift reality to see how many ways, or that the fact that the ways are myriad of how love can be experienced in this life, and how you're never without it. You embody it, of course, in your own way. You channel it, but perhaps there's been some limitations on how that was even channeled through yourself, right? So we're cutting limitations, we're cutting false ceilings, we're cutting the facade of compartmentalization, and we're connecting with the expansive concept of love in all the ways it can show up, all the ways it can show up for us through kindness, through generosity, through art, through sound, through boundaries, through saying no. There's so many representations here, tangible and subtle, and every scale in between. So, if you're recovering from a past relationship or experiencing a breakup, or if you're starting something new, or if you're enjoying your time alone, rebuilding perhaps your own personal foundation, if you're in a long time relationship now, focusing too beyond just the romantic versions of this, also to the platonic, of course, the non-romantic, and just releasing those limitations, letting it burn up. So we're going to burn it up. Hello, offering a little offering here, and we're going to let it burn up. A gift, and a release, combustible. What I first want to place in your hands here, you'll have to forgive it, does get these really grab onto like dusties. And that's okay. Maybe it's a good correspondence, right? But I have this piece of, oh my gosh, druzy, of apophyllite, of calcite, and perhaps some other minerals in here, but it has this heart shape. I don't know if you can tell. And that's just the natural formation of it. It wasn't carved that way or anything. But I wish I could truly place this in your hands and have you sit with it a moment, because I can't quite explain it, but it feels so good to just sit and hold. So we're going to do the next best thing. We're going to set an intention to allow my hands to serve as proxy for yours. And we're just going to just hold it like this and just focus it better for you. Excuse me. There we go. So if you'd like, just grip your hands as if you're holding something, or place your hands on your heart. And just tune in to your palms. Perhaps focused on your left palm as this inward flow, and your right as this outward flow, circling around like a current moving through you. In and out, and in and out. And just let this stabilize you. Let this bring you into that frequency. You might feel a little buzzy in your head. You might feel a warmth in your chest. You might even feel sort of like not a fullness, but that's the best word I can think of, in your lower abdomen. Or if you notice something else, just make a note of it in your head for yourself, And just sit with me for just a moment longer. Right. It's so very pretty. Like truly super cool. Almost out of this self-love spray, so I need to re-up. Spray it all down your back. And my palm. Get the right spot. And we're gonna just channel through and focus on millions and millions and millions, just like stars in the sky, of pathways for love to flow through to you, for you to channel it out as well. Because it's not a greedy love, is it? It's a directive, it's a limitless, it flows like the Ace of Cups, right? Just like overflowing. No limits, no boundaries, healthy boundaries, but no boundaries to how it can benevolently manifest. Channeling through. I really want to focus on yourself here, on your face, on the mind, on how you think about love, how you think about joy, how you think about money, manifestations, blessings, healthy boundaries, saying yes when it's right, saying no when it's right, and knowing and holding in your heart how love is so beautiful because it allows us to be and experience ourselves in our most pure state, if I may say it that way. Just through the heart and higher hearts, connecting with that super expansive, super limitless, full of possibility, flowing from you, flowing to you. Perfect balance. I want to send in a little light, and I'm going to bring it back. Send in a little light. And we want to highlight any areas that we can clip, that we can break through, that we can punch through, that we can sever, that in any way limits how you feel or think. And the comment section is pretty top tier here in this community and other ASMR communities. We have such a blessed space here in the World Wide Web. But once in a while, you can see a comment of kind of despair, of rejecting love or feeling unloved. So for anyone who ever feels that way, or even just in your kind of dark times when you feel that way, or you lose your faith, remember that it's not about love outside. It's what you can bring to the world. And from that point, it's just like more and more to you, from you, to you, from you. This nexus point of just channeling, filtering almost, transmuting, and just adding love to the world. So we're going to scan through your etheric fields, to highlight any areas that are still kind of draining, that are still kind of tethering or holding you in any space of doubt or rejection or disbelief in your worthiness, in your ability, in the limitlessness of love. I have these cool scissors. I don't want to pull it too hard. There we go. Okay. And we're going to cut. We're going to cut from the directions of the hemispheres here. First with the masculine side, and I don't mean like men and women here this way. I just mean the dominant side, the masculine side, the expressive side, the logical side, the like programmed side as well, and then we'll work in the subtle, okay? So we're just gonna shift focus and first move through the body on the right, okay? The dyslexia here, the body on the right. Releasing any and all emotionally harbored areas of rejection, of lack of self-worth, or feeling unworthy, feeling unlovable. These thoughts, these emotions, as tied to how you express love, as tied to how you manifest love, how you create, how you embody, how you carry yourself. The physical expression as well as tied to the past, all around. And then we're going to work in the mind, the now left mind. Okay? Still tied to that masculine concept, logic, action, belief, programming, and maybe any way that your father had an impact, or the more masculine caregiver growing up had an impact on you that in any way limited your concept of love, or how you connect with it, or your expectations for it, what you allow yourself to receive. And we're just going in. Okay, now we're going to address the left side of the body, now more focused with the feminine qualities. That's all just correspondence here. All around the left side of the body, relating to your emotions, your interpretations, your intuition, because sometimes intuition can be limited. You know, it sounds like it's so limitless, but it does have some boundaries and potential false facades set as well. So all around, and again focusing on how you receive love, how you allow love, how you cultivate love, how you hold it, how you share it, what it means to you. Okay, and now we're going to focus in the right mind. And again, related to the feminine qualities, and maybe, just maybe, relating to your mother or the more feminine caregiver of your life in your childhood, and perhaps if that in any way impacted affected your connection or your receptivity with love or anything at all. Not limited by my words here. We're just cutting those cords in the mind. So I'm going to place in my hands these gorgeous stones. This is a pink Lumerian quartz point, and this is a piece of morganite. And we're going to channel through as we've cut these cords to kind of like, I don't want to say seal them, but tend to them, to mend them, to redirect them back to you, to empower them with something more fitting to, again, that limitless way that we might connect with love. So with one in this hand and one in the other, I'm just going to focus on channeling through all of those points. Maybe first focusing in the mind, these hemispheres, channeling through just such a high activation of love, how you think about love, how you allow, how you receive, how you direct, and all the ways you can create it more, experience it more, embody it more, reach into the limitless well within yourself, the limitless channel, and connect more with the pureness of your nature in that way, at least. Not saying you have to be so pure, right? Like, we're human, but hope you know what I mean. And watch as you align more and more with this, as it becomes more typical to you, you will see love in many forms show up. Again, in money and resources. We like that. In opportunities and connections and experiences and joy in the tougher things too. And you can appreciate the love there as you connect with it so much more easily, so much more authentically, so much less rigid, so much trying to shove it into a box. Or maybe you've released through this session and your own work the expectation that one person has to make you happy. Well, I guess maybe that is true, but that person is you and not your partner, not your friend, not your family member. It's you, right? So we don't have to put those limits on people, those expectations for them to know every answer or to read our minds or to look a certain way. We need respect, of course. We need certain requirements, but we're often in this day and age putting so much pressure on our partners or our friends. And it hurts. And it limits and it constricts, and we're not doing that here. We're expanding, and then we're going through the sides of the body. I'm just going to bring you back. Excuse me. Through, channeling through, and through, and through. Moving through you, all of this. Very high vibrational correspondence here with these stones. I just feel guided to say this to someone, but maybe someone is looking for a talisman to help them connect with the unlimited fields of love. And might I recommend finding a piece that has danbrite and moldavite combined? It's very powerful. Just channeling through. I'm going to use the sacred frankincense to honor the divinity of love. again, I'm sorry I keep repeating myself, but that love is not so simple. Like, it is, but it isn't, right? It's paradoxical, I suppose, like everything else. But we find ourselves perhaps taking it for granted. We find ourselves perhaps restricting it. We find ourselves rejecting it, not acknowledging it. There's a love in leaving, there's a love in letting people leave. There's a love in honoring someone's growth and the forgiveness. There's love in gifts. There's love in, expressing your love through different ways. There's love in money and how the universe might send that to you. And I don't mean to imply that if you feel like you don't have enough money, it's because the universe doesn't love you. But perhaps you're limiting how that form of love might reach you. Or you're putting some kind of value system inherently on yourself, which is limited, and then you're capping yourself in some sense. So we're channeling through as we've cut all those cords, cut all those false ceilings, we've punched through all of those false realities, and we're connecting with this anchor of unlimited, the unlimited love all around you. We're going to channel through, tuning in to a gentleness, tuning into a passion, tuning into a fieriness, tuning into neutral. A neutral love can be really perfect too. Not attached in a, again, creating resistance sort of way. An openness, a flowing, and understanding of love is in evolution. Love is in change. And we're just focusing. Visualize yourself in a fountain. Visualize yourself in a whirlpool or a jacuzzi or something. A tide pool. Ooh. Something like that. And just see it all overflowing all around you, just limitless. You're in this space. You're receiving, you're sending. It is unlimited. Okay. Well, I hope that feels good. Just want to move through and really focus on fluffing the auric field with this vibration. With, yes, healthy boundaries. Again, I'm sorry, I'm using the word boundaries here in two different ways, so I'm annoying myself. But healthy boundaries are important. But what I mean in like boundaries is like limits. That's what we're not trying to work with here. It's not about limits on how much you can receive or how much you have to give or the ways that you expect it, or that it has to hurt, or that it equals pain. We're clearing that all. Clear from the system entirely. Declare yourself and your connection to those limitless, I'm so sorry, those limitless fields as new today, as changed, as shifted. And from now on, you will notice, you will create, you will cultivate, you will attune to, you are attuned to all of the ways that love can reach you, all of the ways you can be supported by love, all the ways you can support love, and how even in tough times, or where we're lacking some kind of resource or something feels sticky or stuck or slow, this endless wallet, this endless bank account, this endless reserve of credit, is here for you because it is you, and you're tapped into those unlimited fields always, and you always have been, and you always will be. just don't pinch yourself off, right? So we're fluffing around and around and around. Attuned to all that is, trusting in your receptivity and your point of directing and sending and receiving, and it's all this beautiful, fluid, seamless movement, channel, point that you're standing in, this limitless space. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed your time together as much as I did. Thank you so very much for allowing me to share a little piece of your path, and thank you for being such a significant part of mine. From the bottom of my heart, I bow to the divine in you and I, into this interesting and loving connection that we share. So very much love to you, of course, and namaste.